So here we're going to be doing a review of the brand new Young Lean mixtape, Stardust. This is the brand new mixtape from young Swedish rapper and leader of the Sad Boy collective, Young Lean. This is the first major project of his since his last 2020 album, Stars, which gained both a very reputable reception from fans, as well as garnered him even more fans, and from this point, or since the very beginning of his career from his 2013 debut mixtape. And on this tape, just like on a few of other Lean's tapes, it's not the most conceptual project, it's not the most well thought out album, it's not laid out the best, and some of the tracks here, the placement of these tracks is definitely a bit messy, and the ordering does leave something to be desired. In a good way for a lot of parts, as there are a few songs here where Young Lean dives into some elements that he hasn't done before. Like the opening track Bliss, for example, which utilizes a post-punk sample that carries the instrumental, and we have FKA Twigs in the mix, who provides great vocals throughout the track. They go so well with Young Lean's. These two provide a great chemistry that I cannot deny is something that I'd love to hear again. Young Lean sounds really good as well. And yeah, just all around, something I would never expect Young Lean to do. I would never expect him to collab with FKA Twigs. It's one of those things that you never asked for, not because you didn't want it, but because you didn't think it was going to happen. But it happened, and I'm so glad it did, because this is definitely one of my new favorite Young Lean songs. Or the song Waterfall, which is the lengthiest track here, but still one of the most memorable, because I love the indie-style dream pop production layered throughout the verses, and the more ambient tone with the chorus, and Young Lean's Waterfall vocal delivery remains both sticky and also memorable and quite beautiful at the same time. And I know Young Lean has dived in on elements of dream pop before, but utilizing it this way, combining with elements of like indie pop, ambient, and hip-hop, and making it sound this cohesive for a single song, I don't think he's ever done this well before. And the song Trip, which was a lead single to this project with its psychedelic trap-style production with the hi-hats and the ghostly synths, which Lean's vocals meld great into, and the lyrics that dive into the lack of intimacy within a relationship and how open this girl is about her wrongdoings despite her not seeing them as wrongdoings and Lean seeing them, and ultimately Lean admitting that their relationship's at the best is when they're high out of their minds on acid. So while yes, this project does showcase some great ideas being used here and executed pretty well, and a bit of cohesion, there are of course moments here where that cohesion or these ideas that attempt to come together just fall flat on its face or just don't go hard enough. Like the song Gold, for example, which is a more low-key track, but a bit too low-key, as the arpeggios really aren't enough to carry the track to the end, and doesn't make up for those weird snares that are layered in the mix, and Lean's delivery sounds more like he's talking, more so than rapping, and then you have the double-layered auto-tune effects at some points, which do not sound very great either. And then the track right after that, Stars to the Rainbow, is probably even worse. While the Thai Boy digital verse here is fine, and the track does open up fine with the more weeping synths, but as soon as the chorus hits, where we get more elements laced into the production, and the trap-style boosted bass just becomes an absolute mess, to the point where even Thai Boy's verse isn't really flowing well with the instrumental, making it come across as water and oil, and Lean certainly does not make up for it either, and it just feels more present and feels like it's worse as each chorus hits. Thankfully, the song All the Things is a much bigger and much needed step up at this point in the album, as it opens up with some more soothing chords and the nicely chopped vocal interpolations, good performance on Lean, and then as the chorus hits, the beat completely drops where the chords pick up and the drums kick in. It sounds great, and then they layer back down again for Lean to produce a fairly heartfelt, granted auto-tune, but still heartfelt vocal performance before the beat picks up again and drops even harder this time. So yeah, love the progression of this song, and I love the way it just drops. But unfortunately, the next few tracks beyond this fail to really hit hard. We have the song Lips, which is actually produced by Skrillex, and the percussion here, the very minimal percussion here, just doesn't really do much justice, and there are a few points where I hear this random dance hall style piano in the background that feels like it's being performed from the other side of a tennis court. It's so quiet, its presence just feels awkward and unnecessary. Then we have Paradise Lost, which I think Lean and Antoine's performance here is fine, and I think they provide some great chemistry, but the instrumental here, the more acoustic guitar-driven instrumental with the double chord is just too generic and reminds me of something that The Edge from U2 would do if he didn't have his pedals with him. I don't know, it comes across as probably the most generic instrumental in the whole project. And then we have Summertime Blood with Echo 2K, Bladee, and Skrillex once again on production, and Bladee and Echo do their things here. Bladee with his blissful vocals and Echo with his more charming and slightly feminine vocal delivery. They go over great, and Young Lean does pretty good too. But do I think this is the best Drain Gang and Young Lean collab ever? No. I think they have done better in the past, and once again, Skrillex kind of underperforms with the production here as the lack of drums, the lack of percussion, and the lack of progression within this instrumental just... And especially considering some of the stuff Echo and Bladee have done together, especially on their last album, Crest, this one just doesn't really hit that hard for me. And then we have the song Nobody Else, which I like some elements of it. I like the blissful, trippy atmosphere within the production, mixed with the more rickety drums here. I'm just not really a big fan of the extra layers that are added on top of it, and Lean's performance isn't the best here, feels a little bit too laid back, and some of the lyrics here I don't really care for either, like the cryptocurrency reference, like... Come on. Why? We obviously get the track Waterfall as well, which I already mentioned was great. And the final two tracks, I think, are pretty decent and close the album off alright. We have Letting It All Go, which is a pretty decent cloud rap R&B slow burner with a decent performance from Lean and him finally expressing his feelings to be ready to move forward from the things he once thought were more important. And Visions, I think, is a pretty decent closing track as well. So overall, this new mixtape, Stardust, is a pretty mixed bag, which you may expect from a mixtape, but maybe not should expect from a mixtape, as I've definitely heard some great mixtapes out there, better mixtapes from Young Lean, and of course, better mixtapes this year, like FKA Twigs with Capri Songs, which was great, and she even appears on this mixtape, so that's why I bring her up. Appears on this mixtape on probably one of the best songs Lean has ever made, which brings me to my conclusion about this tape, because there are some songs here that are great, some great ideas here that Young Lean put together, and I think he executed them quite well, but then there are other ideas that just don't go too well, or where he's just adding all these unnecessary or messy elements to it that just really falls flat on its face, or there are just some moments that are just too safe, or moments that Young Lean has already done in the past and done better. So yeah, overall, this mixtape is alright, but it's probably not going to go down as one of my favorites. I'm going to give it a light 6 out of 10. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this review of the new Young Lean mixtape. If you guys enjoyed this project, let me know in the comments what was your favorite song, what was your least favorite song, how would you compare this mixtape or this project among Young Lean's other projects. Let me know. And until then guys, stay tuned for the next video. You have yourselves a good day. Take care. Bye bye.